welcome to the breakfast show this morning on View Ultimate FM. It's another beautiful Tuesday morning, and I'm so glad and happy to be here with you again. Do well to join us live on Facebook at Ultimate FM, like our page, to get notified anytime we're live to be part of all our programs. You can also listen to us live via our website at www.viewradiofm.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram at official Ultimate FM and YouTube at Ultimate FM. My name is Mercy Kata, your host for the program. After the short commercial break is the newspaper headline, so stay tuned.
Yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back with our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up. Nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're listening to the best radio station on the planet. The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
View Radio.
View Radio.
View Radio.
View Radio. View Radio FM. We are the best.
One day, come on, leave this radio for me now. I enjoy this View Radio.
Gida leave him for me for View Radio. Like me, I enjoy them for me. Haji go na gode.
Hello. Give me the full volume of this FM. I'm enjoying this View Radio.
Yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back with our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up. Nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're welcome back to the breakfast show this morning on View Ultimate FM. Don't forget that you can join us live on Facebook at Ultimate FM and like our page to get notified anytime we're live to be part of our programs. Now straight to the headlines this morning on the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria's education in crisis, UNICEF laments, says 1/3 of children are not in school. The United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, on Monday lamented that the education crisis in Nigeria is affecting children across the country, saying Nigerian child's right to education is far from being realized. UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Peter Hawkins, in a message to celebrate the International Day of Education, decried reports that a full 1/3 of Nigerian children are not in school and 1 in 5 out of school children in the world is Nigerian. Hawkins noted that all Nigerian children deserve a fighting chance no matter who they are and where they are, and that this must include education. It is not only their right, it is the smartest and best way to secure the future of Nigeria as a whole. This is very, in fact, no trial words. Yesterday was International Day of Education, and I remember very well that we're talking about it in the launch show, that the state of the educational sector in Nigeria is not really the best right now. A lot of things are happening. Parents are even scared of sending their children to school because even the most expensive of schools that you'd expect that, yeah, this one, my child or my children will be well taken care of here, they are still not the best. We heard about the case of Sylvester, bullying, and now the case of the 5-year-old girl that was killed in Kano by a school proprietor. And there are a whole lot of other cases. In fact, as a matter of fact, many young people, especially the ones in secondary school, they no longer want to go to school. Everybody wants to, be involved in one crime or the other because they feel it is all about money. Even the mindset of children now is, I want to make money. As a child, I think your basic mindset should be, I should get a quality education, I should be able to go to the higher institution and come out as a better person, not I want to make money. Because most parents have, turned the responsibility of bringing money on the children. And sometimes I wonder, as a parent, why would you be telling your child that you need money? That is not the work of the child. It is your job to provide for the children. If you knew from the onset that you wouldn't be able to provide, why even bring them into this world in the first place? I agree that some people give birth through other means that they do not even expect, but still, you should have a choice about the kind of the number of children you want to give birth to and all that. And we see a situation where people have so many children and they can't take care of them, and they end up sending them to some quack schools. Some time ago, I think that was last year, we saw a video of children that were doing their morning assembly inside muddy water. And questions kept coming. Is it compulsory for these children to even do the morning assembly? Why can't they do it in the classroom? And I asked myself this question: if outside the classroom is that way, then what is the condition of the classroom itself? We cannot even tell if the classroom is even in good condition. Even saying the students should do the assembly in the classroom, the school should be closed down, if you ask me, because the owners of the school are not able to provide the necessary facilities that will enable these children to learn properly, that will enable them to get the quality education they need. And that is just the current state that we have found ourselves in this country as at now. Parents are not able to send their children to good schools. The ones that can afford to send their children to the so-called good schools, at the end of the day, they end up getting harmed or getting hurt, or one thing happens to them, they end up being at the mercy of bullies, and a lot of things happen. And this is coming from the UNICEF, that the state of education in Nigeria is really not the best, and that is true. In a country where we say we have the Child Rights Act, and one of the rights of children is to have access to good education, but you still see cases where people use children for labor, hard labor. They will say the child is my house help. How will the child be your house help? Is the child, sensible enough to walk? Why would you employ a child as your house help? And you would promise the parents of that child, that's what they always do when they go and take them from the village, I'm going to give them education. At the end of the day, when they come, most of them don't even send them to schools. They just use them to carry out their many jobs and forget that these children actually need to go to school. We always say children are the future of tomorrow, but if you don't train them well, then how will they become leaders tomorrow? Very sad. Alright, still on the Nigerian Tribune, Kano youths burned down school where 5-year-old girl was murdered. Some angry youths in Kano State have razed the property used as a school where a 5-year-old girl, Hanifa Abubakar, was killed last week allegedly by the school proprietor Abdul Malik Tanko, resident of Dakata area in Kwana Dakata, Nasarawa local government area of the state, where the Noble Kids Academy is located. However, condemned the burning down of the building, saying the structure was not owned by the suspects. Angry youths on Sunday night set the building ablaze. When the Nigerian Tribune visited the area on Monday, it was observed that the upper part of the building was completely burnt. It was also learnt that the security personnel deployed outside the school premises were not at the scene when the aggrieved person stormed the area. Now, there are actually two things I just got from here, and one of them is the fact that the security personnel that were put outside the school were not there at the time of the incident when the school was burned down by the angry youths. Now, imagine exactly what we were talking about yesterday. See a situation whereby something has happened in the school. Security personnel were, sent to that particular place to make sure that they watch over the place. And youths came, they were nowhere to be found. Nobody stopped them from burning down the building because according to residents of that particular area, the building was not owned by the proprietor, which makes it very wrong for them to burn the building. Fine, their emotions are valid, their feelings are valid. They are angry over the death of a very young, beautiful girl, innocent girl that did not cause any harm to anybody, and she was just killed by the school proprietor for what? For reasons that we do not still know, because according the story is still very, very, it doesn't still make sense. You wanted money, you were giving money, but you still went ahead to kill the girl, saying the girl recognized you and you were scared. The story doesn't really add up. And very, very well, their feelings are valid, their anger is valid. In fact, I myself am very angry about the whole issue. But then burning down the building of the school isn't the best, because obviously in fact, from the picture of the school you saw, it is obvious that the man is not the owner of the building. Probably just rented a building, which is what many people just do. They just go rent a particular part of a building, probably a 2 or 3 bedroom, and say they have opened one school. What's the name of the school? Noble Kids International School. They just name it one name. According to Dami said it's La Liga. They just name it one funny name and they start admitting students, and they put on their signposts, government approved. And we wonder, how is it that the government approves such schools? Like, is it that they don't go to inspect the school first? They don't even look at the environment, they don't look at the building. Anybody just comes and they say, okay, fine, you can start your school. It's very, very, I really don't understand. And that is why the government needs to sit up, not just the federal government now, but state government, the Ministry of Education. They all need to sit up and make sure that they are deliberate when approving schools, because it is not a joke. People send their children to school with the mindset that they are safe there. And if things like this keep happening, trust me, a lot of parents will resort to homeschooling, because it's beginning to look like, okay, if they're at home, at least I would have free access to my kids and I'll be sure that they are protected because I'm there with them. That is what a whole lot of parents might start doing. Now, burning the school down on the part of the youth was not the best, but like I said, their anger is still valid, but that wasn't the best approach at all. And on the part of the security operatives that were deployed to that school to make sure that the school area is under lock and key, sealed, and is protected till the investigation is over, and they were not there. What were they not doing at the point of their duty at that particular time? That is a question that they need to be asked. And I think that those officers that were supposed to be there at that particular time that were not there, I think they really need to be looked into. They really, really need to be looked into if it's for them to be punished for what they did. Because actually, it's not supposed to be heard of that you were sent for something, and at the time that disaster was supposed to strike, you were nowhere to be found. It's not supposed to be so at all. And that is what happens in many situations. You see people, you see security men, military men that they sent to a particular place, and they just walk out or act like it's none of their business. And then when something happens, they come out and say they are on top of it. On top of what exactly? Why were you not there at the particular time of the incident? Still on the Nigerian Tribune, kidnapped Bayelsa commissioner regains freedom. Kidnapped Commissioner for Trade, Industry and Investment in Bayelsa State, Mr. Federal Otokito, has regained his freedom from his abductors. Mr. Otokito was abducted on Thursday, January 20th at his home in Ogbia local government area of the state. He was said to have been released on Monday night. Well, it's a good one. We really do not know, the details of that particular headline, but the most important thing is that he has been released, and that is the most important thing. But now it just tells us that nowhere is safe. Like I always say, we talk about insecurity a lot in the north, but now other parts of the country are equally unsafe, just like the northern part of the country. And so everybody needs to be careful. Everybody needs to watch their back. Whenever you're going out, make sure that you tell people where you're going to first, so that in case of anything, people will be able to know that, oh, he said he was going to this place, she said she was going to this place. Don't just move around, especially young people. Don't move around at night. You just go out. The country is no longer the way it used to be, that you can move around at night freely and nothing will happen to you. Everybody needs to be absolutely careful. And if you are a government personnel, or you are in fact you are in one position of power or the other, you need to be extra careful, especially with the elections around the corner. People will be doing all sort of things. All sort of things will be happening. We know what happens in this country, and so everybody needs to be careful and be at the top of their game. All right, that was it this morning on the Nigerian Tribune. More headlines will come to you right after the short commercial break, so stay tuned.
Yes, yes, yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up, nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're listening to the best radio station on the planet. The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
View Radio.
View Radio.
View Radio. View Radio FM. We are the best.
One day, come on, leave this radio for me now. I dey enjoy this VO radio.
Kai mai gida leave for me for biyu radio. Wallahi me I dey enjoy am for me. Haji ko to na gode.
Hello. Give me the full volume of this FM. I'm enjoying this view radio.
Yes, yes, yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up, nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're welcome back to the Breakfast Show this morning on View Ultimate FM. Join us live on Facebook at Ultimate FM and like our page to get notified anytime we're live to be part of our programs. All right, on the Punch newspaper, police arrest fleeing suspect over lover's death in Rivers. The Rivers State Police Command has arrested a man identified as Kelechi, whose lover was found dead at their residence on Woke Street, Cherubim Road, Mile 3, Diobi, Port Harcourt. The State Police Public Relations Officer Grace Iringe Koko, a Deputy Superintendent of Police, on Monday said the suspect was detained at the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department. The Public Relations Officer noted that the State Commissioner of Police, Friday, Ebuka had ordered a full-scale investigation into the allegation that the suspect knew what led to the death of his lover, Ifoma, aka Oyibo. The victim's body was discovered by neighbors in December 2021 as the odor from decomposing remains took over the compound. Well, now this issue is a very complicated one because the lover was found dead in the guy's house and the guy ran away. Now, we do not actually know if he's the one that killed the girl, but what I would just say is, if you know something happened and you are innocent, why not just stay? And in fact, you should be the one even reporting the issues to the police. I know that in most instances, you that reported the issue to the police, you'll be the one that is held. In fact, they'll just say you are the one that killed the person. But it is wiser in such cases, especially in cases of death, no matter how the person died, to be the person that actually said, okay, somebody has died. In fact, she might have died out of a sickness. She might have died out of other reasons. In fact, you might not be involved in the murder of the victim as a matter of fact, but because you fled from the scene, obviously you're going to become the number one suspect. So people should be careful about how they go about things like this. Someone died in your house, fine, you might not be the one that killed the person because at this particular time investigations are still ongoing, but you should be more careful in instances like this. Fleeing from the scene of the incident is not the wisest thing to do because definitely you are going to be the first suspect if anything happens. So people should be more careful. And then ladies that go to men's house to go and sleep over should be more careful because anything can happen. And right now the lady is not alive to tell us what actually happened, so investigations are still ongoing, and we hope that the truth will come out one way or the other. Okay, still on the Punch newspaper, Okoye Iwobi received death threats over Eagles AFCON exits. Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye and midfielder Alex Iwobi were subjected to cyberbullying by fans, including death threats, after Nigeria's exit from the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon on Sunday following a 1-0 defeat to Tunisia. Youssef Sakni scored the only goal of the encounter with a strike from 25 yards out of the fire Tunisia to the last 8 and break Nigerian hearts. Some fans felt Okoye should have saved Sakni's effort, while Iwobi was sent off for a foul after just 6 minutes on the pitch for what was deemed to be a dangerous tackle. An Instagram user under a picture posted by Okoye wrote, "It will not be well with you. I pray you don't see next month. You will die in a plane crash." Another Instagram user wrote, "Maduka, you will not live long. You sold this AFCON match to the Tunisians." And another one wrote, "Maduka Okoye, God will punish you and your family. Your incompetence cost us AFCON." Nigerians are very extreme people, especially when they are angry. Now, everybody has their different emotions about how the whole match went. Yeah, people were very, very hopeful that Nigeria was going to win again, just as they have been winning, for the past 2 matches that they played. But still, it is not enough reason to threaten the life of people. Like I said, Nigerians are very extreme when it comes to their emotions. The same people that were taunting other countries when they lost, they are the same people that will still drag you. They will drag you left, right, center if you make any mistake. They are the same people that have been praising, these footballers all this while. You have been doing a good job. So what changed just because they lost one match? In fact, this is the time to actually support them and tell them that they can do better. Because all these things that they are doing, trust me, all these things that Nigerians are doing, they're the kind of things that can actually kill the spirit of people. So, just because I lost one match and this is the way you reacted to the whole thing, there are going to be subsequent competitions. There are going to be subsequent matches. So if you start, saying things like this, the comments are very, very extreme. He's going to die in a plane crash. Of course, we know that all those things are not going to happen, but it's still not enough reason for you to send death threats. And, in the kind of country we find ourselves, people just make some kind of comments without knowing that they actually carry consequences to the kind of statements we make. If not that we find ourselves in a situation where people can just say anything they want. Mommy Jo will come with her own and say all sort of things and nobody says anything. There's no criminal, attachment to it. People just feel like, oh, they're just blabbing. But anything can happen in cases where something might have happened to the footballer in question. who are they going to hold? They will definitely hold that person that made that comment that he's going to die and God is going to punish him and his entire generation. People should just be careful and take it easy with these people. They are humans as well. They have feelings. They are not even happy that they lost the match. So why add to their own problem by saying that they are going to die in plane crash? I mean, it's too much. Alright, still on the Punch newspaper, 2 killed as suspected student cultists clash in Benue. At least 2 persons have been killed in a cult clash in the Yado area of Makurdi, Benue State. Punch Metro learnt that the clash, which was between the Black Axe and the Bangas, started around 9 p.m. on Sunday. A source who claimed that 3 people died in the fight told our correspondent that the Bangas had killed a member of the Black Axe last year. In 2022, people are still about this rave of being in a cult. I wonder why. There are so many things you could do to better your life instead of joining a cult. As a matter of fact, joining a cult does not even add any value whatsoever to your life. Fine, I know they promise people protection, they promise you power, they promise you all this, but when you enter, at the end of the day, most people that have been involved in this thing, they find out that it's just a farce. So in the long run, what you stand to lose is more than what you stand to gain. So what is the use of joining in the first place? And when you join, it's like a death sentence or like a life sentence. So it's very, very difficult for you to just call it quits and say you are not doing it again. So why join in the first place and lose your life? A lot of people lose their lives. Students especially, they are the victims of these cult activities most of the time. You see they have one clash or the other and people just die. You see someone that has been in school for 4-5 years, some 6 years, just at the final day, you hear that he was a cultist and he was killed. For what reason exactly? Put your family through so much pain just because of what? For mere cheap power that you gain while in school. It's not actually worth it. It's not worth it. Youth, be wise. Be very, very wise. Alright, that was it on the Punch newspaper. I'll just go straight to the Nation newspaper this morning. Ogun Monarch, 3 others killed over chieftaincy role. Wow. Agodo, a community in Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, was thrown into mourning yesterday following the killing of its monarch, the Alagodo of Agodo, Oba Ainde Odetola. Hoodlums invaded the palace in the early hours of yesterday, killing the royal father and 3 of his associates who were with him before setting their remains ablaze. The victims were said to have returned from an engagement outside the community. Wow, this is a very, very sad one. Very, very sad one. In his palace, he was killed alongside other chiefs. And for what reason exactly, we do not know yet. But I really do hope that investigations are ongoing into the state. And in times where we hear that monarchs are being killed, monarchs are being attacked left, right, center, I think that this traditional ruler should be more careful. Probably you should have more security around you, irrespective of whether you just feel like, oh, you are in the confines of your community and nothing is happening to you. You should have more security around you because a lot of things are happening. These hoodlums, people are killing, monarchs, killing traditional rulers, killing, influential people every day, every time. And nobody is saying anything about it. So you have to protect yourself against these people. If you need to get more security, please do, to avoid, cases of this kind of things happening again. Alright, that was it this morning on the newspaper headlines. After this short commercial break, we'll discuss our hot topic for this morning. So stay tuned.
Yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. Do you have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up, nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're listening to the best radio station on the planet. The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
View Radio.
View Radio.
View Radio. View Radio.
View Radio FM. We are the best.
One day, come on, leave this radio for me now. I enjoy this view radio.
Hey, gida leave him for me for pure radio. Like me, I enjoy them for me. Haji ko na gode.
Hello. Give me the full volume of this FM. I'm enjoying this view radio.
Yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to cap it all up, nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're welcome back to the Breakfast Show on VO Ultimate FM. Join us live on Facebook at Ultimate FM and like our page to get notified anytime we're live to be part of our programs. Now, okay, straight to our hot topic this morning. Have you ever been to a work environment where they don't have resuming hours? So there's no particular time that people should resume work. Can resume anytime you like. I'm kind of 98% sure that there is no work environment like that everybody can just resume the way they want, even if it's not like a professional setting. It could be your own business, but then if you have workers under you, you definitely have a particular time that you expect them to resume for work every day, and you have a particular time that you expect them to close from work every day. Well, that is all part of work ethics. So this morning we're going to be talking about work ethics a little bit, what work ethics entails. Basically, work ethics are those, rules and principles that guide the work environment. Simple and short. Things like punctuality, very important. In fact, I think that in every work environment, punctuality is one of the most important ethics, because that's where it starts from. When people start coming late for work and nobody questions them, nobody says anything about it, you see that they just end up doing whatever it is they want. So I think the number one ethical behavior that is usually hammered on in every organization is usually punctuality. Everybody wants their workers to come early. And then some bosses don't come early, but they want their workers to come early. I don't want to talk about that this morning, but still, punctuality is like the most important ethical behavior in every organization. And then we have honesty and transparency. We have, adhering to standards, taking responsibility for your mistakes rather than all those ones are, regular ethical behaviors. Every organization have their code of conduct. They have their ethics. They have the things that they go by. Some people call it core values. Some people call it core values. So those are their values that they go by in the organization, and it's expected that if you work in an organization as a person, you should follow through with their rules and regulations. You follow through with their code of conduct, their core values, or their ethical behaviors. That is just what is expected. You cannot work somewhere and say, I cannot adjust to this pattern of behavior. This is the way I am. My dear, if that is the way you are, you should probably just own your own business or probably sit at home, because you're not ready to work for someone. You have to adjust no matter what, no matter the kind of behavior you have, No matter, when you work somewhere, they tell you that your character, whatever bad character you have, you should drop it at the gates. Yeah, and when you're going back home, you can pick it up at the gate and go back home. It is a common saying, but then it's the truth. You cannot bring in whatever kind of bad character you have into the workspace and say that is the way you are. It is not acceptable, because every organization has its ethical code of conduct, and if you cannot follow through with it, it is advisable you either leave the organization or just bend and adjust. Now, there are reasons why ethics are important in the workplace. Very common reasons are to achieve highest level of professionalism. Like I said earlier, ever walked into an organization that you don't have a resumption time or a closing time, so everybody resumes whenever they want? Someone can just stroll in by 1 p.m. in the afternoon and still stroll out by 2 p.m. and say, oh, I've closed for the day. Even if you don't work there, if you are probably a client or someone that just came to visit the space, you would have a very funny kind of feeling about the whole place, like, what kind of people are these? Because it doesn't even look professional at all. So when you have set rules, when you have set code of conduct, it tells that your environment is actually very, very professional, and then it actually creates a sane and safe working environment. Imagine an organization where there are no rules, like no fighting in the workplace or more, and you know how your colleagues can usually get on your nerves so much, and you just feel like, oh, today I'm going to blow hot to this person, I'm going to show this person my other side. And because there are no rules governing no fighting in the workplace, you guys just start throwing punches, and at the end of the day, somebody ends up getting hurt, and a lot of things just start happening in the environment. In fact, what if the person even dies in the process? Not praying for anything of such, but that is what happens when there are no ethical regulations, where there are no code of conduct guiding a particular organization, because you just feel like, we can do anything, so everybody just starts acting like they are insane in the environment. So it is very important to have code of conduct in your organization to ensure that the work environment is safe and sane. And then it also allows fair treatment of employees. Code of conduct don't only cover employees, they also cover employers. So there are things that an employer is not expected to do in the workplace. For instance, asking for sex for promotion or sex for to get a job, or things like not paying salaries, not because the money is not there, but you don't just, I will pay later, and you start owing people over time. It's not supposed to be so. Or putting your workers under undue pressure. All those things are actually contained in the code of conduct of a company, of an organization. So if you as an employer, or you as a supervisor, or someone that is a position of leadership or power, starts doing it, you can actually be questioned and say, okay, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So it helps everybody to live in a free and fair environment. So people don't actually have to be scared of being put under the table, or being put under the table just because they are employees or something of such. And then it also helps to curtail the excesses of employees and employers. Like I rightly said, it helps to curtail their excesses. Everybody might have their excesses, but then when there are rules governing a particular acquisition, you know that you're not supposed to do this at this particular time, you're not supposed to do this at that particular time. So that's basically it. Code of conduct, ethics are very, very important in every organization. And if you want to really work somewhere, in fact, it's not even about working somewhere now. If you have your own personal business, trust me, there are some things that you wouldn't want to take from your staff, and there are some things that you yourself wouldn't want to do, because you know that it's going to put your business at risk. For instance, if you have your business, even if you don't have anybody working for you, trust me, you wouldn't want to come late to wherever it is that your business is located, just because you feel like you own it. You would have lost like 1/3 of your customers for that day. So definitely you wouldn't want to do that. It applies for everybody. So irrespective of whether you work for someone or you're self-employed, you're a boss of your own, you're an entrepreneur, whatever, even if you work from home, there are still code of conduct that will guide you. Because in fact, working from home is actually the most difficult, because there are a lot of things that could distract you. But if you have set code of conduct and ethics, that this is where the rules I'll be going by while I work at home, trust me, it's going to be very, very easy for you. All right, that was it this morning on The Breakfast Show on VO Ultimate FM. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting episode. But until then, do have a great day. Bye.